Hey everybody, this is Keith with Spreadsheet Sports coming to you exclusively with Fantasy Hub. We are excited to have a great partnership to go with the NFL season, and it's going to be a fantastic season. Week 1 is finally here, and we've got a lot of things to cover, so let's go ahead and get to it. Got a couple of your GPP values that I believe are going to be lower owned, that are in good matchups, that could help you supplement those higher priced lock GPP plays that you're going to want to put in your lineups. And obviously we all know about the plays like Aaron Rodgers, DeMarco Murray, Dez Bryant, plays like that. But what is extremely hard to find in the NFL is those consistent plays that are usually lower priced, lower owned, that are still able to produce and put up big fantasy points that could help you take down those GPPs. So a couple of them that I got for you today. At quarterback position, we've got Carson Palmer. He is only $5,800, and look, I know he's coming off of a knee injury just like Sam Bradford, but where everybody's going to pivot to Sam Bradford, going against the Atlanta Falcons, the New Orleans Saints were just as bad on defense as the Falcons were last year. It's going to be a high-scoring game. Bruce Arians likes to chuck it, and he is going to be very, very, very under-owned because of the fact that everybody's going to be looking towards the Tom Brady, the Peyton Manning, the Aaron Rodgers, and then they're going to go down to the Tony Romo, the Eli Manning, the Sam Bradford type, and I believe Carson Palmer is going to get overlooked. His weapons aren't quite as explosive, but I do believe that if you pair him with John Brown, who's only $3,900, you could end up catching lightning in a bottle. I think that John Brown is going to lead the Cardinals in wide receiving or receiving touchdowns this year, and I believe he gets started in week 1 against the Saints. So Carson Palmer, pair him up with John Brown. Obviously, we've got that quarterback to wide receiver tandem that can go off, so when one scores, the other one's going to score, and it could end up being very, very low owned and end up taking down one of those GPPs that are available over there on Fantasy Hub. So the next one I've got is Riley Cooper, where everybody's going to be going towards Jordan Matthews, towards Nelson Aguilar. Riley Cooper has been productive in this offense, and we've seen the Eagles be able to sustain and have 3 fantasy relevant wide receivers in the past. So at only $3,000, he's minimum priced. He is going to get extremely overlooked because of the preseason that Nelson Aguilar had, and then, of course, the season that Jordan Matthews had last year. Now, this is a GPP play only because of the fact that it's boom or bust. We saw it last year where Cooper had the case of the yips and the drops, but Chip Kelly likes to go to him, and with a new quarterback in Sam Bradford, I think he's going to spread the ball out a little bit. I know Sam, there's a lot of weapons there, and the ones that are going to go lower owned are going to be your Ryan Matthews, your Riley Cooper. So I think that's a good way to target and attack a GPP as well. So the next wide receiver that I have is kind of a really big dark horse, but they've been paired together in the past. They've played together in the past, and they've been productive in the past. It's Eddie Royal for only $3,100. He's back with Jay Cutler. He caught almost 100 balls from Jay Cutler when they were both in Denver, and playing the slot in Chicago, I think he's going to have a really, really productive year. We don't know what the status of Alshon Jeffrey is yet, but even with Alshon Jeffrey in there, I have extreme confidence that Eddie Royal can be very, very productive part of the fantasy, blah, blah, blah. He can be a very, very productive part of the Chicago offense. So the Green Bay defense doesn't really scare me that much. It's a great it's a great time to exploit this in week 1. And I don't believe that Jay Cutler or a lot of the Bears are going to go highly owned just because everybody's going to be looking towards Aaron Rodgers, Randall Cobb, Devontae Adams, teams like that. And I think some of these still higher scoring totals, but they're underdogs. Some of these second and third wide receivers that could end up stealing, 10, 15 fantasy points that could end up helping you take down a GPP are going to go extremely low owned because of just not being known or not being talked about quite as much. So, and as far as tight end is concerned, there's a lot of different options at tight end on Fantasy Hub this week. There's a lot of minimum price tight ends, but the one that sticks out to me, and I know he's going to get a lot of work, is Ladarius Green. He's only $3,000 with Antonio Gates being suspended for 4 games, and the fact that we don't really know what's going to come out of that receiving corps with Malcolm Floyd, Keenan Allen, and Stevie Johnson. Ladarius Green is going to be a nice, consistent target over the middle, and he's going to be able to be productive. Don't expect 100 yards and 3 touchdowns, but I could see him being a big target in the red zone. He could have a lot of impact when they get inside the 20, and he could end up getting a touchdown or 2. Remember, Antonio Gates last year had multiple games where he had more than 1 touchdown. He had 12 touchdowns on the year, and 9 of those touchdowns came in the first 5 weeks. So they do like to use the tight end in that offense, obviously, and I think that Ladarius Green could end up being a steal at $3,000. When fitting these guys in, it could end up helping you put in your Antonio Browns, your Dez Bryants. Antonio Brown's actually playing on Thursday, but your Dez Bryant, your Demaryius Thomas, your higher priced players, you're going to need some value in order to do that. And with a list like this, I think that this could end up being some of the key players to put you over the edge in those GPPs. So, guys, I'm excited to be here all year with Fantasy Hub. Look for all of our podcasts every Wednesday coming out. There's going to be some highlights of some tournaments. I know this week you can enter to win a Isaac Bruce, a signed football, or a Kurt Warner signed jersey. And all you got to do is make a small donation to your favorite charity or to their charities and enter those, and you can be rocking in some swag this year. So it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to help out for good causes, obviously, with the charities, and we're going to have a blast this year. So for Spreadsheet Sports and Fantasy Hub, this is Keith signing off. Goodbye.